This is a banded cricket. They are a small species of insect that can live in very large groups. This group is called an orchestra. These insects have made use of the local vegetation, providing a food source for them. But little do these insects know, there is a predator among them. But let's go back to how we got here. This is Bandit, and he is a juvenile bearded dragon. He was gifted to me by a friend of my dad's a few years ago. I've been housing him in a temporary 20-gallon, but it was non-bioactive. Today I decided to change that. First, I had to wash it out. Along with that, I also ended up washing some sticks and a few rocks. Once that was done, it was time to situate my background. I found this really cool looking deformed stick, so I decided to add that into my background. Once I figured out what I was going to do, I added the silicone. When I was adding this silicone, it ended up getting a hole in it and it made it really hard to spread it around, but in the end I still managed to figure it out. Once I was done, this was my finished product. As you can see, I added in some smaller sticks along with some rocks to make it look more natural. Once it was dry, I carved it out. So here's the finished product. I was trying to make it look more like a rocky canyon. It doesn't look the best right now, but once I start adding the sand to the background, I think it's going to start looking really nice. Once I was done carving, I cleaned up everything that was left at the bottom of the terrarium. Here's what I got so far, and I think it's looking pretty good. I like how the rocks are making it look, but I feel like it'll look a lot better once I start adding silicone. At first I tried spraying around the silicone with a brush, but it was taking too long. Here's how it looks after. I definitely feel like I could have done better with this. It looks a little ugly to me, but I feel like once I add my plants, it'll look a lot better. First, I placed some rocks down to get a feel of how I'll be doing my terrarium. Once my rocks were positioned, it was time for me to add the substrate. Dry setups such as this don't really require a drainage layer, so I will not be adding one. Once the substrate was added, it was time to add the sticks. The sticks will serve as some good climbing spaces for my bearded dragon. Once I was done placing in the rocks and the sticks, it was time for me to add my plants. I started by adding some blue fescue grass, along with some aloe vera. I also ended up adding some bits of jade plant. All these are some good and safe plants for your bearded dragon. Although he might end up eating the aloe vera, but that's a chance I'm willing to take. Once I was done adding in the plants, it was time to add some leaf litter. Added in leaf litter to serve as some extra food for the isopods. This will help them thrive in the environment that I put them in. It'll also serve as some good enrichment for my bearded dragon. Now that it's fully finished, it's time to add the bearded dragon. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I was definitely right about the plants making the background look better. I feel like I could have done a little better in some areas, but altogether I'm very proud of how it turned out. Ever since I added Bandit to his new setup, he seems to be a lot more active, while also being a lot more lazy. Although this is a really nice setup, it is still a temporary setup, and I do plan to get him something way bigger in the future. Once he got settled in, I gave him a good plate of mustard greens along with collard greens. One of my favorite things about bearded dragons is the way they eat. They have such a vast diet of crickets and insects along with some good vegetation. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Although my channel is small, just having one of you watch my videos means a lot to me. I hope you all have a good day, and thanks for watching.